I call it The Heir. It's a very, very inspiring and compelling story, produced and directed by our very known actor, Ben Affleck, who also acts as the CEO of Nike in the movie, Philip Knight. We also can't forget about Matt Damon, another very well-known actor who acts as a low-profile employee in the movie, but he's also the main and most important character in the movie. Next up, we have Chris Tucker. He's our very funny stand-up comedian in the movie, and who can have a better role than him? We also have Jason Bateman. He is Rob Strasser in the movie. Rob Strasser is the main character's boss. Sonny Vaccaro is the main character. Next up, we have Chris Messina. He is an agent, and whose agent, you'll find out later. The story starts in 1984, when Converse was leading in the basketball business, with up next Adidas at second place, and then Nike being the worst in the basketball business. And they were about to go out of the basketball business, which the CEO didn't want that to happen. Even Sonny didn't want that to happen, because even though he had a very low-profile job, he still needed that job to pay rent and all the other stuff he needs to have in his daily life. Sonny was called to the CEO's office, Philip Knight's, and he said he had to fire a quarter of the company, and the board was asking him to fire everyone, which he was not doing because he didn't want to shut the business down. And how would he be able to manage the business like that? And Sonny was confused by all this he said, because they couldn't fire everyone. Everybody would struggle to find a new job and all that stuff. And he knew that he needed to find a way to help out the company. When he went to his meeting, Rob gave a list of people they could sign, and also told people they couldn't sign, like Michael Jordan. Y'all know Michael Jordan. He's the most famous basketball player in the NBA league currently. And it was for sure that he was not coming to Nike, because he didn't like Nike's track suits, he didn't like their shoes, and he was definitely going to choose Adidas with Converse as his second option. Sonny wanted to pick Michael Jordan because he didn't want to sign 3 or 4 players. That would be very chaotic for the company, because they would argue on who would be first, second, and third. Sonny didn't want more chaoticness happening to the company that they would have to shut down just because players would be arguing about it. He wanted to sign one person, and he had deeply studied Michael Jordan's movements, even though he was a rookie. He had never set foot on an NBA court. But Sonny believed in Michael Jordan because he knew that he could be the one and only person that they would be able to sign. And he was their last chance, according to Sonny. He wanted to build the shoe around Michael Jordan, a line of shoes just for him. Rob Strasser started saying, "So you want to add little fingers and toes on them?" And Sonny just slapped his head, saying he could be our one and only chance. So he contacted the Jordan's agent, David Falk. David Falk said it would be very unprofessional to call them and ask, "Can you please schedule a meeting with them?" Sonny then was so crazy. He was literally crazy enough to go all the way to North Carolina just to talk to the Jordans' parents, because Michael Jordan's coach said not to go and call them, just to schedule a meeting. But he also said not to go on their front door. But Sonny clearly didn't listen. He was too crazy enough. So when they got to the house, he had a talk with Miss Jordon and listed all the facts of why he was in North Carolina. And he believed in Michael Jordan. Miss Jordon made it clear enough that they were not coming to Nike, but she thought about his questions. He asked, if you ask who's in charge of the company, he betted that 4 different people would give 4 different answers. Then he asked her to ask why he was in Wilmington, North Carolina. She did ask that. And she said, why are you in Wilmington, North Carolina? Sonny said, I believe in your son. They changed the topic for a little bit, asking how did Sonny get the name, Sonny Vaccaro. And he explained that his mother had trouble giving birth, and the first thing she thought about when he was born was the bright light in the hospital, which was why she named him Sonny. She explained that he passed away a few years ago, and she's in heaven watching him, as always. Then they scheduled a meeting for Monday. And Rob Strasser was like, why the heck did you schedule a meeting without telling us? Sonny clearly didn't care, and when the CEO called him to the office, he was not happy at all. He was like, no freaking way. We are not adding more money to the budget. $250K is enough. And he's also asking for a car, a red 380 SL car, the newest brand model of Mercedes. And as his coach explained, Michael Jordan's coach said to Sonny, he would sign anyone if they got him that car, except for Nike. That's how much he hated Nike. And they had finally scheduled a meeting with Miss Jordon. When Rob Strasser thought about it for a while, he thought, okay, we gotta prepare. But Sonny is the one who said, we're staying in the office. We have to stay here until we find a great shoe choice for Michael Jordan's line of shoes. So Sonny went to his good friend Pete's office and said, we need a unique shoe for this company, for Michael Jordan. We need the best shoe the whole world has ever seen. Peter thought about it. A few days later, he showed his designs, but Sonny wasn't really happy with it. He wanted more red. But the NBA league said 51% has to be white. Sonny was like, we're doomed. But Rob said, we can pay their fines. We don't have to worry about that. Sonny was like, add more red. And then another few days later, he showed his design. Sonny loved the design. He thought it was fantastic, unique, and very much compelling. Even Rob liked it. He said that he wanted to call it Air Jordan. Then they realized David had came up with that name. But they said to forget about that guy. Frick that guy. Let's pretend Pete came up with it himself, with no help. So, meanwhile, Converse had done their meeting with the Jordans, and they were explaining that they would put him at number 4. Miss Jordon didn't like that idea, so they were already out of the game already. They went to Adidas, and Miss Jordon asked the question that Sonny asked to ask to Adidas, and they were all giving different answers. And Miss Jordon was feeling a little suspicious about that, which didn't turn out to be a good thing. So, one day later, they came to Nike. They gave their amazing idea. And they were prepared beforehand. 7 hours and 25 minutes before, they had come up with a plan. The CEO, Philip Knight, would come into the room 7 minutes late to make it look like he was actually really busy with all the work he had to do for Nike. And Howard White, who was acted by Chris Tucker, our very funny actor, he would be keeping the Jordans busy by doing his little stand-up comedy that we all know. And Rob Strasser would intro them and give a little demo. And when their interview came, they showed Michael Jordan having the best basketball career ever because of that one shot. He knew he wouldn't get the ball, but he still did. And he saw greatness in Michael Jordan. Sonny saw what his coach saw. Greatness in Michael Jordan, which he thought would be awesome. Then they showed the shoe. Pure red with very little white. And they said they called it Air Jordan. Sonny explained to Michael that you will be betrayed. You'll go through bad things. You'll go through sadness. You'll go through happiness. You'll go through every emotion possible. And everyone at this table will be forgotten except for you. You are the shoe. You will make your career blow. You will become the most famous basketball player the NBA league has ever seen. And then the meeting ended with lots of happiness, and Michael Jordan felt inspired by the way Sonny saw his face. They waited for a call back from David Fall because he would say that he was going to call them. But Miss Jordan called instead and said, I said that I could take it from now. And she was willing to accept it. But they were not giving enough. $250K was not enough in her opinion. She believed that since they were making a shoe with Jordan's name on it, he needed a little money from the shoe that's getting like approximately 10% or 25%. Sonny agreed with the plan, but that was just not how business worked. And she also said that he needed to get the new car that he'd always wanted. Again, Sonny said, I agree with what you're saying, but that's just not how business works. So he said, I'll call you back later and tell you if I accept or not. So he went up to the CEO's office, and the CEO was about to be so happy, but then Sonny said they're not happy with what they're getting. They need more. And the CEO said, let's just do it. We need this to be a mind-blowing career. This might be the only opportunity of Nike. So, accepted, and Sonny asked if he could talk to Michael Jordan to have a little talk about him and all the great stuff about being in Nike and signing for them. And Sonny said, you will not regret this. So after he ended the call with the Jordans, he started announcing to everyone, we just signed Michael Jordan! And everybody was so happy. He even called Rob Strasser to the room, and he was so happy. And this was a mind-blowing career. In the first year, they made $162 million. Just on that very first year, Michael's Air Jordans were sold. In 2003, Converse was bought by Nike. So now Converse is a Nike brand. And Michael got his car. Peter, the one who designed Air Jordans, died at 79 before this movie was produced. A month before it was produced. And Miss Jordan, she does charity for every charity area around the world, no matter where it is. And every year Michael Jordan makes approximately $200 million in sales, and Nike makes $4 billion just because of those Air Jordans. And just imagine how much they would be making more with all the other Nike shoes they have. Crazy. All in all, the Nike business became one of the most, probably the most famous shoe company in the basketball business and in general business. I think this story is very inspiring and can help other companies achieve goals that they believe can work and make one-time opportunities come true. Dream come trues. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for more updates. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.